everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 300 in the Ukraine war, or to the Russians, the special military operation for the 20th of December. So let's start off with some interesting developments within the Russian internal stuff. One of the pro-Russian sources, Ryba, which to me is one of the most trustable open source intelligence on the pro-Russian side. The founder has been inducted into as a member of the presidential working group on the mobilization and social support of the special military operation troops. And this is actually very surprising, because the Russian government don't really like, generally speaking, all these independent media or independent OSIN people, because they do not toe the government line, and they often expose things that the Russian military or within the hierarchy of the Russian troops, things that they didn't really want the world to know, or they didn't want Putin to know. And they expose them. They expose the real situation on the ground. Sometimes the pathetic logistics, the poor treatments of the Russian soldiers or whatnot, and there's a lot of talk, even rumors that the Russian government want to crack down on these people. And in this weird development, the Ryba's founder, after he finally show who he is. Ryba's founder was previously unknown. It was a secret, and he finally came out of the closet, if to put it that way, and show his real identity. And he's now part of this presidential working group. That means he's actually working directly with Putin on something to do with mobilization and social support of the special military operation participants, which is basically the troops. And it could be to do with propaganda, it could do with information warfare, maybe, perhaps, and also to better communicate with the families of the soldiers, perhaps, and this coincides with another very interesting development, is that War Gonzo, another source which I don't trust as much, but they do very good job. They are also very pro-Russian. They are way more pro-Russian than Ryba is. The head of the project, Pegov, has been awarded the Order of Courage, and basically he's awarded a state award, and he actually getting the award directly from Putin. So these two developments together shows there's a massive sudden change in the Russian government's approach towards information, towards all this OSIN and independent media. And I think this is something that we should take note of, that is getting less, perhaps authoritarian, but it seems to want to divert away from the top-down approach that Russia tends to go for, and now trying to diversify in terms of information control, management, or whatever, from the ground up. And Ryba has been a thorn of the in the eye of the establishment, be it the deep state within Russia, or be it the Russian government leadership, perhaps. And this is really a massive change, something to look out for. And moving to the front lines, at the southern front, we do not have anything to report. And on the Zaporizhzhia line, similarly, we do not have anything to report. The main focus of both sides are not in this southern front. And moving to the eastern front, where we go to the Donetsk front, there is a Sukhoi 25 getting shot down over Voleda, and this is a series of multiple aircraft getting shot down over the same day. And the Russians are attacking Prishestivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, while the Russian Defense Ministry actually reported recon forces getting contacted over at Novodonetsk. So this is not offensive, but they basically they say they destroyed. But for me, always take this kind of things with a pinch of salt, because maybe the recon force is 100 strong. They destroyed 10 and they think that they destroyed the sabotage group. The kind of situation, you don't really know, because if you didn't see, you don't know. So I think this with a pinch of salt. The word destroyed, I would just say that as fighting has reported, so they contacted the recon forces, which is actually what the job of the recon forces tends to be, recon by combat. And because only when you're engaged that you know that the enemy is actually there. This is something that I actually dreaded when I was in military training. I thought that is so senseless, like sending me to die. Anyway, there was fighting reported at Novo Mikhailivka. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, as usual, most of the reports, like half the report tend to be from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So anyone that say that I'm pro-Russian or I only propagate Russian propaganda, you can go and screw yourself. At Marinka, fighting continues at Marinka, and according to Sanya, Florida, who is one of the biggest YouTube channel that is reporting on the Ukraine war, and they are actually using DPA's mapping. He have direct contact. He have direct source at Marinka with which you can probably see in the footage on the right side here. It's not meant to be very obvious. You can actually go to to Sanya, Florida, the Telegram channel, to look for the video, because I'm not allowed to show this kind of video clearly anyway on YouTube. So according to his exclusive, his contact there shows that the Russian forces have actually advanced beyond the Druzhby Avenue, and they have captured at least one street. In his information, they say that they have advanced 4 blocks in another post, and then they move another 2 blocks. In his mapping, he drew the line along this road here. So this is just the way how I map is just on the aggregation. So it's just to show that the front line have moved forward. The Russian forces have been trapped at Druzhby Avenue for a very long time because of all the high-rise building. So finally, they have pushed forward 1 street, and this is only this information is not available on other places, so you guys can go and check it out. And moving further up north, we have no reports on fighting at Krasnohorivka, surprisingly. And moving to the Pisky region. So did I miss anything? Okay, at the Pisky region, previously, okay, this is actually this should be like that. So there's fighting reported at Nevelsky, as well as at Vudian, both information coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. However, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry mentioned Pisky as one of the places that they defended against the Russian forces, which makes no sense, because the front line has already long passed Pisky, at least 3 kilometers away from the nearest front line, so that makes no sense whatsoever. So it's a question mark. Nearby at Jevine, there's a Ukrainian Mi-8 getting shot down. There are information. Okay, the comments actually told me about this, and they actually suggest that these 2 helicopters, this and this, might actually be the same helicopter. So I suspect that might be also the case. So because the Russian Defense Ministry reported only this helicopter getting shot down over this region, so it might be actually the same helicopter, because this information comes from Viber. And the footage of this shoot down went viral. So this is the official statement. So perhaps it's the same. Moving further up to the New York front, there's no fighting reported around here. So I thought that the Russians may actually make a major push around this region. Turn out it is just a diversionary attack. Moving to the Bakhmut front. So we are now around here. This is Ukraine. We are here now. In the Bakhmut front, before we go to the Bakhmut front, there is a MiG-29 on the Ukrainian side shot down over Stepanivka, and there's another MiG-29 shot down over Belozersk. I think one of the pro-Ukrainian guy in the comments jinxed it, because he was asking, in the comments, so why there's no planes getting shot down? Then I replied no, because the Russian Defense Ministry did not say anything. And so he kind of jinxed it, and 4 different aircraft got shot down over Ukraine. So next time don't ask this kind of thing. If don't have, it's a good thing, right? So once you ask, planes get shot down. Loose mouth sink ship. I don't know, I forgot the term already. So don't anyhow say anything. It's very superstitious. There is fighting reported at Klishchiivka. According to a mapping that I saw on the pro-Russian source, they show that the Russians attacking from 3 different directions, in this direction, and further south. So like an all-frontal attack in that sense. But take that with a pinch of salt. And there is some success, limited partial success being reported by the pro-Russian source Ryba. I will take that with a pinch of salt. There's fighting reported at Opine. Some information. They say that the fighting, the Ukrainian side, the Aida nationalist battalion is fighting within this region. So probably that's one of the reasons why the Russians had it so difficult, because nationalists or extremist groups tend to fight harder, and they don't give up. But reinforcement has been reported for the Ukrainian side. The reinforcement comes from a column of military equipments from Ivanopol. So not sure what kind of equipment, probably armored vehicles, I guess. And at Bakhmut city itself, fighting continues to be reported on the southeastern side. So this is just an update, because the past few days we do not have the detailed information. Today Ryba does give a bit more detailed information today. They are still fighting around the waste sorting plant. They still haven't managed to get out of it. The Ukrainians are putting up a very good defense around here. What is this? Oh, this looks so unnatural. Anyway, and then fighting continues to be on the eastern side of Bakhmut. They say the Wagner group advanced and occupied 2 blocks near the gas station, which is here, which is kind of depressing, right? The buildings are already so small. 2 buildings is like, that's what, how long is that? Like 50 meters. So it's going to be a slow grind in Bakhmut. Generally speaking, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry acknowledged that there is fighting at Bakhmut. The reinforcement was reported by pro-Russian source Ryba. The 4th Rapid Response Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine has been transferred to Bakhmut. So reinforcement all around. So the Ukrainians are really putting out a fight here. Further up north, we do not have information of any fighting at Krasnohora or Pihorodne. At Soledar region, there is fighting reported at Bakhmutske. Let me see. This is reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, so there won't be any details. The Russian forces at Yakovlivka was reportedly fighting within the area of Yakovlivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And from pro-Russian sources, they reported that the Russian forces is now pushing in 2 different directions. One force is actually moving from Yakovlivka towards Rodovlivka, and there's another force moving towards Soledar. Should this force manage to reach the outskirts of Soledar, this will actually open a second front at the city, because currently the fighting is primarily concentrated within this region here. Should this force arrive into the outskirts, this will actually complicate the defense of the Ukrainian forces. I just thought this is a very weird neighborhood. Like, I cannot really see the building. So it's like they built a lot of roads to very tiny houses. Maybe these are tiny houses, right? Tiny house, very very popular now in United States. Tiny homes. Moving to the Kupyansk Front. At the Kupyansk Front, fighting is reported at Vasily, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, and as such, there is reports of reinforcement at Vasily, according to pro-Russian source. The reinforcement here is the 10th Airborne Brigade of the 46th Air Mobile Brigade. To maintain the defense of the 10th Airborne Brigade. So the 10th Airborne Brigade is actually defending here. The 46th Airborne Brigade is sent to reinforce. Sorry, I read it wrongly. And surprisingly, we have information of at Sperne. So there is a gas compressor station at Sperne, and the fighting is now currently being fought over there. I'm not exactly sure gas compressor station is which building. This doesn't look like a gas compression station. This looks more like an army camp, and I have no idea where exactly this thing is. This is electrical thingy, if I'm not wrong, or maybe this is the one. Then, but if this is the one, then this would invalidate the previous information that the Russian forces have captured most of Sperne. So I'm not so sure where exactly this place is, so I cannot really map it accordingly. At Kupyansk, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry continues to report there is fighting in this region here, and there is no fighting at Krychorivka or Sybranka, so you can ignore this lightning strike to the west. And the Luhansk People's Republic and the Russian forces continue to push for Bilohorivka, with the Ukrainians putting up a very good defense. They have been holding this position for at least a month now, with endless Russian onslaught, but haven't seems to break through. Let's see. So now we are moving into the Crimea and Kupyansk Svatove region, which is further up in the most northern part of the Eastern Front. And at the Crimea front, there is fighting reported at Dibrova, with the Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported the Russians are launching an offensive or attack within this region, whereas the Russian Defense Ministry reported they have contacted 3 different recon groups from the Ukrainian side. Further up north, there is reinforcement reported at Terny, Makievka, as well as at Ploshanka. According to the Deep State UA, which is, I didn't map it here, Deep State UA, which is a pro-Ukrainian source, reported that the Russians has been on the offensive at Ploshanka and Shevonopopivka region. So the Russians launched attack from Ploshanka and Shevonopopivka since the start of the month. So that's kind of corroborated some of the information that we know of, that the Russians are on the offensive. But of course, we already listened from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, so it's not exactly any surprise. It's just some corroboration from the pro-Ukrainian sources. Further up north to the Svatove front, so this is Svatove city. The Svatove front, there is fighting reported at Stemerkivka. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, recon group was operating around here, and there is fighting reported at Pikuysk. This reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. What they wrote is in the area, so I don't think they have captured this town or village, which then caused me to push the front line further to the east, which then will contradict the information of fighting near Stemerkivka. So this is currently still a question mark. The fighting here, we can take it with a pinch of salt. It's a situation like similar to the one at Pisky. Makes no sense. But who knows? Maybe it's the Russians messing up, or maybe after the Russians reported this, the Ukrainians launched a massive attack and they managed to push all the way to Pikuychan. Pikachu. They launched to Pikachu. So yeah, so no, but they haven't captured the Pikachu, so they haven't captured all. Moving to Berestove, there is we have updated the map to reflect that this Berestove is actually under Ukrainian control. We assess this based on the developments over the past month, and I'm convinced that it's not under Russian control, especially with Ryba reporting that reinforcement has been reported at Berestove as well. So without sufficient evidence that Russians have recaptured Berestove, so we have changed the mapping. Moving to the Kupyansk Front. The Kupyansk Front, we have made a major change to the front line. The front line previously was at a doorstep of Vyshana and Peshotravene, or Peshotravneve, and Olyansky. We have moved all the front line all the way towards, much more closer to the road. I put it maybe around 4 kilometers from the road. So that we didn't see any reports of the fighting around this region, but based on the latest information from Ryba, that there is an offensive operation in the area of Petropavlivka, and with the reference of Ryber's mapping. Ryber's mapping, this entire area is in the gray zone, which also coincides with how we do the mapping. We have pushed the front line up for the Russian side to reflect that there is a major push south of the Russian forces within the Velshana Petropavlivka region. Reinforcement is reported at Sinkivka, with reinforcement from the 3rd Battalion of the 14th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian forces is transferred over here. And there is news that is fighting reported at Mysytivka. Mysytivka, this is according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So this is something new. And then fighting is reported at Vorishny, according to the pro-Russian source Ryba. So a mix of information allow us to create this picture of what exactly is happening. So which is why my method is as such. With all the different sources, we are able to map out the map more accurately. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 300 for the 20th of December, and hopefully I will have time to do a overall introduction for the day of 300 of the situation for newcomers, for people who just wanted to start to check out or follow the reporting. I hopefully have time. My schedule is ridiculously packed, so I'm not sure I have time to do that. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching. Please press the subscribe button. Please press the like button, because pressing the like button helps to reach more viewers, new viewers. Really, like, we have done this experiment before half a year ago. Pressing the like button actually helps to increase the reach. Commenting actually doesn't. Like button does. So do help to press the like button, and I'll see you in the next update.